want to say. Makes a lot of great runs, and especially like loser runs as well. So he's able to keep the energy going, and as we see, this is losers as well to make it out into top cut. So this is going to be for that spot here. And yeah, Banjo, Sephiroth, this is going to be an interesting set.
It's definitely, it's fun to get a matchup where you're like, wow, I actually don't know this matchup.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of fun to learn this in real time. Part of me wants to say that as long as like Monem can keep their spacing together and like stay within like F tilt and maybe even like fair and up air range, it can be pretty tough for Banjo because you can definitely outrange him. But once we get to full screen, eggs and grenade could be like a huge problem. And Sephiroth's also not very heavy. And Banjo has like a surprising amount of kill power. People don't really like talk about it outside of side B. So Monem's definitely gonna have to be really cautious on how they're moving.
Yeah, and I definitely do want to mention that Monem's gameplay definitely differentiates from being able to have that patience, slow down, and match the energy. And he also has the ability to play aggro, pick it up, and that just exactly, he finds that momentum and those key points that shifts it for his favor here. And again, if he has to slow down, if that's how Fair wants to play here, he'll do so. But again, Monem is just a very aggro player and wants to get in your face. A little too much.
A little bit too much there, though, of course. Obviously, that side B kind of comes for us all. I mean, it's so insanely armored. It's so active. The hitbox is crazy. But all that aside, Monem getting a lot of great damage here. Trying to find another dare spike. The first one was great, but of course, Fair going to kind of mix it up a little bit. But still a great punish we saw anyway. Banjo's recovery isn't like
it's not great.
Bad, but like he at least has a lot of options and ways to mix it up.
Yeah.
But yeah. Nice. I like that Monem is very, very committed to, kind of like I assumed, just trying to get in that short hop nair and up air range just to kind of like outbox Banjo. And Fair is trying to keep up here with these grenades, but not seeing the success we really want to see. I don't even think I've seen any of the eggs, probably because like F-tilt just beats those. So
yeah, I haven't seen too many either. We've just seen a lot of grenades, and yeah, getting that trade there. We've got the one wing and the stock off of Fair now. So very high favorite into Monem's side here, and again, one of the side Bs there is gonna go down again, trying to get another spike. I'm telling you, this man is greedy.
I mean, honestly, with wing on, I wouldn't be surprised if the worst that could happen happened right there. But yeah, definitely got to be careful. I like that Monem is like really committed to like just having a disciplined out of shield game, but also sneaking in those pokes and even sneaking in like a counter if need be, just to keep Fair Play guessing. But right now, Fair Play looks to be a little bit desperate, trying to force the stock with that up smash, not gonna get it. The side B didn't really cut the mustard there either, and that great recovery from Monem with the counter, just kind of really throwing Fair off his game.
Yeah, and the other issue here is that we're seeing those dare spikes that he wants so much that he's not changing up the game plan either. So now Fair is going to start punishing him with those side Bs, and he's actually getting like damage from that because, you know, Monem isn't figuring out like another way around that, a counterplay. So if we can see that, it's going to definitely go into his favor here. But again, Fair is picking up the pace now. Another side B, only 2 more to go. So we'll see how this turns out for these players.
Yeah, Fair honestly only about 20% down. And when you think about the kill power, I'd say mostly an even game, but a sweet spot F-tilt definitely going to do it at the ledge. And honestly, it seems like Monem took your advice. They were very committed to going for that dare, making it so you couldn't recover low. So Fair finds an opportunity, stands up right on the sweet spot F-tilt, and that's just going to, I mean, that just wrecks most characters, honestly, at the ledge.
Yeah, and the other thing I've noticed as well within this just first game that we've been watching Fair and Monem play, I've noticed a lot that Monem is trying to land on top of Fair to get like the nairs or maybe like the counter, maybe a dare, which is kind of risky because we've also seen Fair with the up tilts and like possible up smash as well. And there's just so much potential for Fair there to mess up like Monem's potential there.
Yeah.
So I feel like I would want to see him play a bit more safe, more grounded, but aggro, because that has been working a lot in his favors.
For sure. Another thing I'm noticing too, I feel like Banjo is incredibly good on PS2 because I've watched enough TG from Japan, and he's just so absurd underneath the platform. But in this matchup, it feels like Monem is really in control. He's doing a lot of short hop up air from under the platform to pressure you safely. He's getting good confirms when he catches you landing on it, and we need to see Fair kind of take advantage of that because that's one of the things that like can start to push the Banjo meta a little bit further, those guaranteed confirms with side B on those platforms.
Yeah, and as we also see that like the sword for Sephiroth is doing so much work for Monem here, let alone Fair has to approach. Fair has to engage with the grenades and eggs and whatnot. It's not too much space that he can create. And with Monem, it's the opposite case. He can have as much space as he wants, and we can see that already.
Ooh.
And there it is, the first stock going to Monem there.
And rarely do you see Banjo get hit out of the initial frames of that side B. I mean, it's one of those things where we all just kind of like respect it because we've just been burned by it so many times. But Monem did not have to worry about that. Just poked him right out with that fair. Really smart. I think Monem is handling side B just really well overall at this point.
Yeah, there's still a little bit, some mishaps here and there, and sometimes that just happens to you where side B is still going to hit you.
Yes.
Even out of shield as well, which I've seen a couple occurrences this game so far, but other than that, excellent gameplay. But again, that's the situation where we're seeing Monem trying to land on fair there, and it's just too risky when you're cutting it close at the percentage you're at. So you got to play a little more frugal with your stock, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with you too. Like, you have like way more range. You're fine to just like stay back from like max back air range or even F tilt range just to keep him out. Again, using those side Bs to stop those projectiles, which is very, very smart, but it's not leading to anything because it's just kind of far away. But either way, Fair definitely doesn't get to like play that game for free and just get that free pressure.
Yeah. We are seeing Fair, though, turn up the heat just a little bit. Again, a little too greedy with the side B options, I will say. And that air dodge on stage was also so risky. I'm surprised he did not get punished for that.
Yeah, that was definitely a desperation attempt right there. But as soon as I say it, we're going to see a grenade to Fair. Very, very strong from Banjo. And an up tilt, once again, going to take the stock. Like you said, Monem is very committed to landing on top of Fair, and Fair's like finding really good answers, especially with that up tilt.
Yeah, which I'll admit, I even have a bad habit of doing that, like thinking if I land on that player, maybe I can get like a dare spike. Like, that's just me being greedy, and I feel that's probably what a lot of players struggle with, is to notice when, you know, I need to be more patient instead of greedy.
Yeah, yeah.
And that greed is like, that's when it gets to people because you just want that stock gone. And there it is. So finally down to our last stock here for this game 2, and we will see if Fair has what it takes to turn it over, the correct adaptability here, and the notes.
I fully agree with you. And even after dying from that up tilt last time, Monem maybe is starting to figure it out. It's just like, all right, going for a lot of like retreating bear, maybe some F tilts here and there, playing a way more horizontal game because I think that is just a place that Sephiroth shines. I understand that falling up air is just, it's very tempting because Sephiroth gets so much out of it, but yeah, definitely just want to just kind of keep him at poking range and just play from there.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you're cutting it so close with the one wing and the 90%. This is Fair's time to shine here because he rarely has any percent on him now, and this is where he can spam the grenades and poke with like the up airs, the up tilts and whatnot. But one grab from Monem, this could do it because it's a scary situation off stage here, and this could be the poke situation you were talking about, Sai.
Oh, I was wondering if he was going to counter it, but it came out just a little too late. I was really curious to know how that interaction is going to work. But now both players in kill percent. One Winged Angel is on deck. A single feather is left from Fair Play. Dash attack nearly killing Sephiroth. Wow, that boy is light. But this is officially a nail biter. This will go either way.
Yeah, again, just have a little more patience. Be more conservative with your options here. Ooh. Oh my god, this is really down to the wire here. How are both of these players alive?
I know. This is also a loser, so this is going to determine who's going to make that top cut. No! Fair just late on that punish. Definitely could have had that match. I think an up smash out of shield would have done it, but I think he just respected it a smidge too long and unfortunately loses game 2 there.
Yeah, that was such a tense game 2. That was not game 3 or game 5, but we saw so much energy built up from these players, and you know, the gears were turning their heads, so many puzzle pieces were being put together, and we're seeing this storyline that's coming up where now we saw so much momentum from Monem game 1, and now Fair is catching up. He is right there, and we could see the switch. We can see the switch in game 3.
What you looking at over there?
1 second.
What is going on?
Game 3, thank you, and PS2 now.
Oh.
And look, see?
Oh my god, I see.
Yeah. Now you understand it.
Because you were staring off, I'm like, I got ADHD too, but what's going on? Oh, I see. The match started.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, so getting into this third game, Fair just narrowly lost that. And that's one of those things where that can kind of make or break your mentality in bracket. You have to really dig deep to just not let that affect you because you were just one interaction away. And right now, it looks like Fair got a pretty solid lead here. Wing already on deck. Dash attack proving to be really, really good against these landing forward airs from Monem. So hopefully Fair can secure the stock and at least kind of cement that lead. But other than that, this could definitely be Monem's game right here too.
Yeah, and I loved that stall we just saw from Fair there, knowing that Monem might have gotten for that dare spike again or some poking adaptability there. But again, Fair sticking it out and hanging on a little bit off stage and now taking advantage point right now in game 3.
I'm gonna be real. This is the most I've ever seen Banjo dash attack. I was very sleep on it. I did not know it had that much knockback.
You learn something new every day.
Truly. Wow, actually F-tilting Seph out of his F-tilt is unheard of as Banjo. But Fair is really, really locked in right now. And he's doing great punishes, punishing a lot of these down Bs that are coming out from Monem. None of the counters have really like led to too much yet, so might have to take that offline for a little bit and just sort of readjust. But right now, Fair looking like he's about to lap Monem in percent potentially.
Yeah, he's got quite the lead right now. Doesn't have to work too hard, especially that Monem is now inching that 100%. And there it is, looking for another Fair. Not going to connect, but the up smash?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, the up smash. Going to close it out there.
Wow, yeah, it definitely looks like he's finding good options, and I think Monem is starting to like flounder a little bit here. Oh, now you're starting to see, when you start seeing Banjo do those egg combos, they're feeling themselves. That's when they're starting to lock in for real. Yeah,
I think it's finally connecting right now with Fair, that he has the freedom and the ability to finally play his own game, because as we saw the previous 2 games, it was a little bit more of Monem's game and still filling each other out, but with Fair now having so much energy built up and like the ability to breathe, because you got 2 stocks up and you're like, okay, now I can do what I want to do, and he's thriving.
Yeah, honestly going into this, I figured that Banjo would be the one kind of struggling to get out of disadvantage, but it looks like that's actually kind of falling to Sephiroth right now. Down smash going to come through and at least cover the roll. Not going to get like the knockback that he wanted, but definitely still racking up some good damage here. But Fair still in a great spot, making it back to the ledge. Still got a couple feathers, and the up smash could have been the stock, but I think the grenade kind of altered what part of the sword connected.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my, that almost destroyed his shield. That would have been really close to call it. And again, we've just seen Monem here trying to keep stage control, trying to keep Fair on his toes here. But again, you're at such a huge percent deficit here. So there's really not too much you can be pushy and aggro about when you're on death's door.
Yeah,
pretty
I mean,
much.
And Sephiroth is a character that, like, he very much rewards patient play and just like kind of like forcing neutral to happen organically. But like when he is down, even with Wing, he's not the kind of comeback character to just like run in and make something.
Yeah.
Like he's not like a Lucario
or
a Wario or anybody like that. Like Wing is really good, but he's still, from a neutral perspective, is playing a similar game.
Yeah.
And yeah, he lost that early lead, and unfortunately,
gonna
go
Joker
down there
as well, I would say too.
All right, but getting back into game 4, running it back to PS2, I think both these characters are extremely good on the stage, so they both probably are just going to play the whole set out here no matter what happens, it seems like. But yeah, let's see if Fair can maybe, or not Fair, see if Monem can maybe start adapting to the changes that Fair has made, because I think the way Fair's been using grenades and eggs in game 3 and right now have really thrown him off his block.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot more grenade pulls and egg pulls this game and the previous game as well, which is what you had mentioned as well, where it's like, how come we're not seeing a lot of like the egg toss and whatnot? Well, now we're seeing that because there's got to be like a level of comfortability that Fair is feeling now.
Yeah,
he's feeling himself, so that's how you know like this is his time, pretty much.
Because like because when I first started seeing TG pop off, I'm like, is Japan really losing to Banjo this bad? But like egg under a platform at like 50-60 was just like taking stocks. I'm like, oh, I see the problem. That's actually like massive for him.
Oh, like this is real. See what I mean? It's real. Yeah.
Speaking of real, for the first time, Fair finally getting that down throw into the up tilt. He's been wanting it for a while. I think Monem was just mashing really, really hard, but now he's found it. Got a lot of momentum here, and he's doing a great job of just keeping momentum in disadvantage, or Monem in disadvantage at the ledge here.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, it doesn't work.
Yeah. That's got to be a really tough loss that you're just going to have to swallow there. But Monem going to try to make it up with that dare. Couldn't get anything going, especially with that up B on stage. Nothing either. The counters, again, it's just to create that distance, but we're not seeing much off of it. We've got to see more poking, more distance from Monem here. But Fair is just getting right in his face, and that's all he needs to get these stocks.
Yeah, and now he's starting to use those grenades to cover his landing. One thing we've seen a lot is if one of Seph's moves planks with a grenade, it adds a lot of hit stop, and Fair can kind of just like move out the way and ignore ignore it, and that's getting him a ton of mileage there. I like the attempt with the aggressive side B at the ledge. You only got one left. You're already at kill percent, and finding it from coast to coast. Fair not going to be up 2 stops, and Monem really looking for answers. Got to find some kind of way to close this out. Even that back air is just barely not enough.
Yeah, 163, that is one hefty bear for sure. And finally putting a stop to it, that dare onto the platform there is going to finally take it for Monem. But once again, Fair is just looking like a train that's just not stopping.
Yeah, I mean, this pressure is interesting. He's hitting from like a lot of off angles that Seph doesn't really cover that well.
Yeah.
Like up air has a good arc, and like F tilt and bear are great, but he's kind of coming at these weird diagonals, and like because the grenade kind of falls to that arc, Seph doesn't have like an amazing button to deal with it, and wow, Fair is going off right now. Yeah. I like the attempt. All right. I was wondering if we can get the double back here there. Fair still got 2 feathers left, but at 117, ooh! Seph in a lot of danger. Now he's getting birded to the face, and we have ourselves a game 5.
Birded to the face.
Bird to the face.
Dude, he actually flipped him the bird.
Yeah, he got flipped the bird, right.
He actually just got flipped the bird off.
That would kill me too.
I would die too.
I don't know what's up with Briegel, but she's just like, she enjoys her role, and that's great for her, but I'm sorry. I don't. If you ask me, hey, do you want to hang around in my backpack and I can just like throw you at stuff? No, that's not on my resume. I'm not.
I think I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good, actually. All right, game 5 starting up right now back on PS2.
If we can have the, there we go.
There it is. All right, so once again, like predicted, we are going to be seeing the entire set played out here on PS2. But Monem, I think it would have been worth it to change the stage. I think that we're at this point where Fair is starting to finally use the platforms better than Monem. I know it started out for Monem, but now it seems like Fair has a better way to use this. It might have been worth it to switch the stages up.
I can see your point. At the same time, I feel like we're way too deep into the game to switch it up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're game 5 now. This is it, man. Like, you've got to, like, really lock in now. And again, as much as we've seen the side B pay off, I wish we've seen more punish game from Monem come out, because some of them are a little reckless.
Yeah, some of them are kind of crazy. I think what's happening is that he's respecting it a lot.
Yeah.
And characters like Banjo, the more you respect them, the better they're going to do. Like, sometimes, like, Banjo is good, but sometimes you got to just be ignorant and be like, I am a high tier, and let me remind you why. Sometimes you just got to, like, you know, start showing that dominance in like your neutral interactions.
And not only that, but Fair's already burned down 3 of them, so he only has 2 feathers left. It's still for stock, 109%. So given that Monem could take his stock now, if Fair like loses that stock, he can start over.
Yeah.
But if Monem loses his stock, Fair only still has 2 feathers to play with.
Right.
So I really feel like Monem has to take more advantage on that.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we're going to see another one burn for recovery, which isn't bad. There's a great punish. The fadeaway back air once again covering the roll. That's what we need to see. Monem getting a little bit of momentum here now. Unfortunately, he is at 100, and now there are 5 full feathers on the other side. But at least, even if one of them kills you, they're burning it before your second stock, so it helps you out either way.
So I think that's a big factor that's going to play into this set, as we do see like the spacing now that Fair is playing into the game and articulating it super well. The wings is, again, that's exactly what I want to see. I want to see the feathers burned. I want to see advantage points taken of it, because that is where Monem will get like the best execution possible.
Yeah, Fair might be starting to get a little bit nervous here. Made a lot of great momentum, but spot dodge, up tilt, and not the first time we've seen Fair taunt. There was a point where I think Monem countered an egg, and he just taunted because he knew he was nowhere near it. So.
I did not see that.
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. So Fair's still feeling himself for sure.
Okay.
But down 76%. Let's see if we can get a nice combo started. Again, hanging out on those. I think the big thing is he's hanging out on those platforms, and Monem isn't really going for the up airs to check him. So he's just kind of like hanging out in a really good space for free.
Yeah, and especially with these like Z-drop grenades as well that we're seeing, it's just so unpredicted that Monem can't really prepare for that. And we're seeing all of these the grenade tosses as well. It's scary.
This is insane. He took that stock at 76 and did not get hit for a full minute. Fair fully has the lead back at this point. I like that, rolling on stage with a grenade, kind of taking the play out of Snake's book. I see you doing your homework. But 1 feather left, 1 winged angel is active. Oh, big whiff on the up smash right there. We have ourselves a completely even game. Oh, a catastrophe if you go near that ledge right now.
Yeah, both these players are being super reckless right now. Exactly, because we're seeing so many options thrown out. Both of them want the stock. Neither wants to lose their stock. And right now, I honestly don't think it matters too much if Fair loses his stock, because guess what? His feathers will reset now. And it's going to be a tough game to call it here for Game 5. We've got 5 feathers on deck, no one wing, and we have to play again this like neutral state of mind.
Yes, and this is just for Top Cut as well.
Yeah.
All 4 of the pools feed into what, top 32, top 24 maybe? I'm not sure.
Top 16, I believe.
Top 16. So this is to qualify for top 16. One stock separating these players, both so talented, both done such a great job of adapting to each other. But who is going to come out on ahead here? I feel like Fair Play is doing a great job of hanging back, throwing those projectiles out. But Monem is starting to pick his shots. This is really, really even.
Yeah, and this is scary because, again, that's the first feather. We're seeing Fair be more frugal, more patient with the feathers, but Monem is finally starting to turn around slowly but surely. We've got the air there. We've got the back air. Got to get something else to connect. Do not let him land on stage. There's the parry.
There it is.
And everything is connecting, but not enough to take the stock yet.
Ooh! Wow, Side B going through all of those hits of neutral B. This is scary. That spot dodge in that scramble situation is what got him the stock last time. Both of them wanted so bad. Back air, spot dodge, up tilt, everything you can think of. Another feather. Got to avoid it. Fair doing a great job of not committing to that same way he got it before. Finds the up tilt and is able to do it after an incredible amount of work.
Yeah, that down throw connection into the up smash was perfectly what Fair was looking for, and that was the execution.